I just wanted to get it out here while the sun was out because I wanted to see how closely the color matched up. I don't know if you can see that, but that color is, it blows my mind how close they get that color match. Automotive touch-up, paint touch-up, whatever, does such a fantastic job. It looks incredible. It's just like the match is 99.999% perfect. It's just, Chase boy, it's just out of this world incredible how close of a paint match that is. But anyway, so I got some information. They called me today. I was hoping to have the windows by tomorrow, which would be Friday. No go apparently, which kind of sucks. So they will be here next Tuesday. So which is okay because I think it's going to rain this weekend, so we're not going to go out camping this weekend anyways. We're going to go next weekend because it's going to be gorgeous. So Tuesday I'll have those windows in, and I'm sure Tuesday night I will be here installing and putting everything on the truck. So we're almost there. Awesome. Okay, so we're back here getting ready for this canopy install. So this is going to be more towards wiring it up. I don't know. I imagine it's pretty simple to do. It's not like real complicated, but in case someone was kind of curious, this is kind of the way I'm going to go about it, and I think it's probably an extremely clean way to do it. I very much enjoy clean, as OEM looking as possible, as sturdy and high quality as possible. So I started off, I just took this brake light off. It's just this screw, and this screw, and then it pops out of this thing right here. So then the whole assembly will come out, and then I just got my cool little power probe and figured out. It's pretty easy to figure out, obviously. You know, this one is for the brake light because it enters into the brake light. So, and there's only 3 that go in there, so you know that one of those 3 is the power. And generally red is associated with 12 volts. So there's a green wire with a red stripe. I tested it. Sure enough, that comes on when the brake light comes on. So I know that's the wire. So what I have done here is I spliced into that wire. I'm still going to cover that more. I just did it so you could see. So I spliced into that wire, my wire that I'm going to use. Now I have this. This is going to be my connector that's going to go into there. And then I've drilled a hole right here. It goes directly from there into there. So this is going to come through that hole, and it's just going to stick out right there. And then I'm going to silicone, or I don't know exactly how I'm going to do it, but at the end you're just going to see a little blue thing sticking out like that, and then I can route my wires down from my canopy and just right around and plug right in there. I think it'll be a fantastic way to go. I'm also going to be mounting up some cool LED lights because I plan on camping in this, at least until I get my rooftop tent. And so I'm also going to run up a constant 12 volt power source, and then I'm going to have a switch set up. So that's going to be cool too. So we'll see how that works out. Alright, we're plugging along here. So I've got some kind of cool stuff set up here. So this is going to be the ground to the brake light right there. This one popping out right here, that is the power to the brake light, which I have coming in through here and spliced into the brake light. So and that's in there nice and firm. I'm still probably going to put some stuff around there to waterproof it or whatever, but I don't know. I mean, waterproof it, but it's still there, so I'll still have to put like tape over it whenever I take the canopy off or whatever. I don't know, but either way, it's there firmly, so I can plug into it and take out of it either way. And then I accidentally broke this bolt, and it just so happens that I had this other one here that fit in there perfect, and it's hollow. So I'm going to run the power wire for my lights through the center of that. That's going to be pretty cool, so I don't have to drill another hole. So it's going to have the power wire coming through there, and then I'll be able to pull it over here. So I've set up this little thing. So that red thing is it's just a little part to the door I had from my Volkswagen project. And that's one cool thing about doing a lot of projects is you come up with a lot of just miscellaneous little brackets and stuff, and they turn out to work for a lot of different projects. So this is awesome because this is not screwed in. Basically, it slid in perfectly, and then at the tip of this screw is like a cone, and it fit into the head of that Allen perfectly. And then you tighten it down a little bit, and it just holds it in there easily, and then it's easily taken out with no lasting anything. And then I just had this little bracket that I bolted to it. So now I have my little switch. I can take it off whenever I take off my, because this switch is not waterproof. So I can take this off real easy whenever I take off my canopy. And then so now this is my ground for my canopy lights. My LED lights are going to be in my canopy. And then the next step is I'm in the middle. I got to start running the constant power. Unfortunately, as far as I can tell, there's no constant power back here. There's power to that, which you have to turn on with a switch. There's power to the brake lights and to the trailer lights, but nothing's constant. So I have to run a constant power lead. So I'll do that. All right, I'm all wired up. Everything's good. So I wired in this light just so we can kind of test it. I have the ground wired into the ground for the brake light. I'm just using this old brake light just to test it. So actually I think I'll have to set up another ground for the canopy for the actual lighting system. But so I have all the wires headed to it. Turned out pretty cool. I turn the switch on. It works. Cool. So I was just kind of wrapping things up here, and then my kid went and got the mail, and I realized my LED lights for my canopy are here. And so I'm taking a look at them. So they, you can control the different colors and stuff. I have them in my house. They're awesome and they last forever. This kit was 16 bucks. So I wired it up to where you take the two wires and then I have my switch in there. And after getting this, I kind of regret that. I mean, I already did it, so it's done now, but I could have just wired up a cigarette jack pretty easily. And then I could just plug that in whenever I turned on my, and this has got a switch built into it. That would have been kind of cool. And then when I was taking my canopy off, I just unplug it. But that's okay. I got it situated pretty nice, so I'll still be happy with it. But either way, these are the cool LEDs. These are going to be awesome. Okay, so I'm putting up the insignia badges, the Lear badges back on here. So they have a lot of their sticky left, but I'm not going to rely on that. So what I'm going to use is this stuff right here. This stuff's awesome. So I'm going to spray a little bit on the back of that, and then I'm going to spray a little bit on there, let it dry till it's a little bit tacky, and then put it on, and it'll probably never want to come off again. So yeah, I'm going to do that right now. Bam! Everyone knows it's a Lear now. So I sprayed the back of those, and then I taped off and sprayed around the little area. And then I waited till it was kind of tacky and I put it on. Definitely that stuff gets everywhere. It's hard to keep it off your fingers, and then you get it on the front of the sticker and all over the place, and it is pretty much a mess. So if you're going to do that part, that's a good way to do it, but make sure you have some of that. I had to put some of that on a rag and get all the excess off before it all dried, and just wipe it all down and kind of really scrub the edges and stuff to get that stuff off there. But that aspect is done. So now I'm going to start looking at these lights I got. Alright, so I got these wired up. See if they'll change the colors. There's white, blue, green, red. And they do all crazy little, you can go by the music, which is all cool and good. Maybe if we're having a lot of fun, we might get festive or whatever, but most of the time I'm sure it'll just be the plain white, just for some just cool, chill mood lighting or whatever. Anyways, so yeah, I went to do this thing, and obviously it doesn't take very much power, because when I spliced it in, those wires from that thing were so fine. They were like 3 little teeny tiny hair wires, and it was difficult, but I spliced them onto some connectors, and then I don't trust unplugging them and plugging them back in like that, so I spliced them in and then covered them up to where they never come out again, and then I have stronger, thicker ones where I'll plug in, plug out as I need. I might even come up with a better solution after a while, but this seems to be working. So got my little switch there, so yeah, it's cool. Alright, now we got the lights all connected. So I got this carpet in here. It works fantastic with Velcro, so I just stuck some Velcro on the bottom of that. It is good to go. Velcroed that, and then I put some Velcro on the back of each light, and I can just put it wherever I want. And what's cool about that is I can change it around once it's in the truck as much as I want without worrying about it. As far as the wires go, I just made a little strip. It holds the wires right where they need to go. I don't have enough right now, so I'll have to get some more throughout the week, and then I'll really get these wires done better, but this will at least get it in the truck and going. But right now, if I was to hook it up, everything would work just the way it should be. And I have all the lights hooked up. So, kind of cool setup, I think. Pretty awesome. Whoop whoop! It's Tuesday! I got some glass. The last link to the last piece to the puzzle. I'll have that canopy back together tonight, and on my truck, hopefully. Hopefully, yeah. Why not? Of course. Yes, I will have the canopy on my truck, and I'm going to drive to work with my canopy on. I got to tint the windows tonight, so you'll see me tint the windows tonight. Apple Auto Glass. These guys are really awesome. Apple Auto Glass. Downtown Portland. These guys are pretty awesome. If you got glass work that needs to be done and you're in the Portland area, hit them up, man. They're good prices, really good customer service, and like I said, no other glass place in the area wanted to even help me out, and they did. So good job, Apple Auto Glass. Okay, here we are. So I got the windows home. I just got done tinting the back window. I just used this cheap stuff from Walmart, and I'll go out on a limb and say that's probably not the best stuff to use. It seemed like pretty cheap crap, and it kept, I mean, I'm definitely no expert, but I had a really sharp blade and I was doing it a good way, and it would not cut right, and it's just didn't seem like great stuff, so I wouldn't recommend it. I would go get some 3M or some good quality stuff. But live and learn. So anyways, I got a couple of these edges that were kind of effed up a little bit. I'm hoping the frame will cover those areas and we'll be okay. I think as far as the tint darkness, I think we're pretty close. So we'll find out once we get it on there, but it'll be close enough either way. It's not gonna bug, it's not gonna be too bad. The other downside is that I just realized, so these are the handles that I purchased for this window. Well, as it turns out, these handles are a little different. They only have one thing that goes through the center, and this has 3. So, and I actually have to cut holes in the glass to accommodate them, which is scary as all get out, considering this is a $100 piece of glass, and if I break it, then I'm just out the $100. So, kind of bummed about that. I ordered the right ones. I wanted to have this on very soon, like today or tomorrow, which I still might just take one off one side and put one on the other side just to get me through until the other ones get here. I ordered them. And of course they're twice or three times more expensive than these other ones that I got, but you know, that's kind of the way it goes sometimes. It's okay. These projects is always unseen or unexpected things like that. So right now I'm getting this frame ready. I'm going to clean up these rubbers and get them all ready to put in the frame, and then rivet the frame together so we can get the back window on, and then I'll deal with what I'm going to worry about with the side window and drilling holes in the glass and such. Okay, here it is, like 2 weeks later. So I went and got that glass cut, and the side window was good enough, and the back window didn't fit. I don't know if I think I showed that, but either way, so I had to take it back and wait, and it took them a while to get the second glass put in, but luckily they did get it done, and they actually installed it in the frame for me, which originally they wanted an extra $60 for. So either way, that's good. It's done. I just have to tin it whenever I get around to it. That's that right there behind that stupid screen. So anyways, now I'm on to this. So I am big into admitting when things go wrong. And so things have gone wrong a little bit. So I was going to buy this window, and then I bought these awesome latches, saying, okay, I'll use that for the window. No, I realized that's not the right latch, and I paid $25 for those. And then, so I said, okay, of course the right ones were, instead of $25, they were $40 or $35 or something. So I bought these. So, okay, I want to get the right ones, whatever. So I got the right ones. I get them here finally, and I realize they go through the glass. So I'm like, okay, that's fine. I can buy a glass bit and drill through the glass and make it work. I've seen it done on YouTube. It's cool, right? Well, luckily I checked before I actually made the hole in the glass. Come to find out that once a glass is tempered, you can't, I mean, it's near impossible, if not completely impossible, to cut a hole in glass because of the way the tempering process creates kind of like an outer shell or whatever. I don't know the scientific reasons, but basically when you try to do it, it just shatters. So it was not something that I could do. So I've basically been spending some time coming up with a solution to that. And what I've rigged up here is basically, I've come up with this thing that I bent out a piece of aluminum, which this will be the window. It's going to reach up, the window's going to fit into it, and then it's going to glue in place with the sealer on the thing, and then it's going to go in here. It's going to be stuck in by the window, and so this thing will be kind of just sticking out like that. And then I created this thing to where this will go in here, and it's going to have a hole, and it's all going to go through, and then I'm going to have a pin. So I'll be able to put a pin through each side. So in other words, it kind of sucks because it's going to look different from the other side, which most people probably is not that big a deal, but I am very, that kind of stuff bothers me. I can't stand one side being different from the other side, so that's going to bother the heck out of me. And the other thing that sucks is I'm not going to be able to open it from the outside. So I'll be able to open it. I'll have to reach in, pull the pin out, and open it. So I'll still have access. I'll still be able to use it. And when I'm camping in there, I'll be able to open it. So that's cool. You know, but this is the kind of stuff you run into when you're doing a project for the first time, and you are not exactly how it's going to work out. So I did not price out the glass. I didn't do anything before I made this project. So essentially what I did was I started the project and I'm just making it work. So either way, that's what I'm doing right now. So we'll see. My next step is tinting the glass, getting it glued in, and hopefully that whole system will work right. And then at that point, I'm ready to reassemble and get this thing on my truck. I would like this thing on my truck. It's Thursday night tonight. I want it on this weekend. It's been weeks since I thought I was originally going to have it on my truck. So stand by. Okay, so we're here the next day. So I glued this thing in last night. Came up with these cool freaking brackets, which I'll show you better later. Goes in there, and then I went and bought a pin so I could put the pin in there. It holds it in, which works beautifully. And I got the window in. I set it in there and glued it in there. It dried all night last night, and I just now set the seal. Now I thought, based on how things were looking, that seal was not going to sit in there very nice, and it was going to look all wavy and funny and ugly. And I am pleasantly surprised that it fit in there very nicely, right? With some sealer, it's in there nice, and it looks honestly really great. I'm super happy how it came out. So all I have left, I have this is going to dry overnight, and then I got to tint this bad boy, and that's ready to install. That's pretty freaking exciting to me. That was a big obstacle. So I'll get that back. That's the other side. I got to get that back done and get the back window tinted. So that's going to be the next project, is get the back window tinted, and then I'm just going to start reassembly, baby. Okay, it's tint time. I got some better quality stuff this time, which I'm not going to say that's still high quality stuff, but it's higher quality than that Walmart stuff I had. Can't guarantee the outcome's going to be any better. It sucked the first time, but I came to realize that it was a much better idea to have a glass that fits before you tint it. Also helps to put the glass in before you tint it. It doesn't seem that way. You think it would be a lot easier just to tint it while it's out and then put it in, but the thing is, when you do that, then if you're not careful about the edges, then the edges peel up. So it's all in, and I'm going to attempt to put some of this tint on without wrecking the tint and having to buy more. That'll help. Okay, tint's done on this thing. I'm gonna go out on a limb and tell you, obviously this is a budget build. Trying to do as cheap as I can. If you can afford it, or if you have a friend that does tint, you should have a professional do tint, because tint sucks. So basically, I got it, and it's okay. There's some spots over here like that. That's going to bug me for the rest of eternity. And most of them, it actually turned out pretty good. It's not horrible. It's actually, look, there's another piece right there. It's not good. It's not that good. So you get what you pay for. I paid $30 for the tint, and you get what you pay for. But in a budget build, what are you gonna do? I mean, I don't know how much they charge. They probably charge as much as I paid for the shell just to do the windows. So I don't know. It turned out fine, and once I get it on there and get it in there, it's gonna be fine. And if you have a chance to practice first, it could turn out even better. But so far, it is what it is. So I'm gonna do the other window now. Alright, now I get to do my little homemade mounts that I did here, which I'm gotta say I'm pretty proud of. It's gonna save me some money. So in all reality, they saved me money. And a few things I did here on this build definitely did save me money, but in all reality, all said and done, looking back on it, I would say the money that I saved doing all these little do-it-yourself things to save money, it probably equaled out in the tint that I just wasted and destroyed. So I'm glad that I did these little things. So, I don't know, I think I showed you once before, but basically just welded a nut on the end of a threaded bolt. I just cut the head of the bolt off, put a nut on there, and then I have these little things I got from Home Depot, which is on one of my other videos on how to make those. You basically just grind them down and cut the spring, and then they just work perfect in there. And then I just got some of those, so I have something to tie down to in here if I need to, just as an added little feature. And I got 4 of those, and that cost me about $3 to $5 instead of, I don't know, maybe as much as $10 instead of $40 for the setup they wanted. And I would say it's just as good, if not better. Alright, she's on. Put her on earlier today. Drove it down about 20 miles away and back down to Home Depot, and it's pretty sweet. I like it. So got the brake light working, which I can't really show you because I don't have any way to do that. And I gotta show you this part. This is my switch setup. I think I showed pictures of that before. Bam! Check that out. So I got these little 4 LED lights. $15 for the set. But wait, folks, there's more. So I got this little guy right here. That's just held on by Velcro, which is convenient and easy. Oh, it's about to get crazy up in here. Whoa. But that's not it. Oh. Oh, back to the white just so we can chill. Oh, we got some orange action going on. A little bit of yellow. Some bugs. Wow, that's pretty cool. It's like a limo back here. Oh, but wait. Whoa! Oh my gosh. It's gonna be a party back here. Dooch, 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 dooch. So, needless to say, I'm pretty excited. Got all hooked up to my little switch, so I just got an easy little light setup back here. These things worked out awesome. They are sturdy. This is my little homemade window holder any thingy, and it is a little stupid / inconvenient because I forgot that I need to be able to pull this in, because I put these to where they're pretty tight, so it holds the window in nice and tight, which unless you take this and pull on it, it's hard to get some leverage on the window to pull it in. I should have made one more of these as for a handle to pull in. So basically when I do this, when I'm closing, I have to have someone else go outside and push it in right now, which is certainly not ideal, but it works. So basically I just won't open this for the majority of the time. I mean, most camper shells don't even open right there. So if I'm getting loaded or something like that and I can open it up and I have someone to help me close it, then fine. Otherwise I have this one that opens and closes just fine normally all the time, so I can just utilize that one the most of the time. So basically, as a whole, basically what I'm going to say is that this $100 camper shell, I'm not going to say that it is the best option for everyone. So for me, I enjoy doing the build. I enjoyed learning how to do the fiberglass. I enjoyed doing some more painting, and I got a lot of gratification out of it, and I did some cool fabrication stuff as far as the mounts and all that stuff, and it was fun. But in the grand scheme of things, you know, I think I have in excess of about $600 into this thing altogether, which, you know, I mean, that's a pretty good deal for what it is. But then again, it's not perfect. My tint looks horrible. It's pretty bad, honestly. I'm trying to figure out ways of like getting a marker and like coloring in the spots that I missed, or eventually I'm just gonna have it redone professionally. So the tint sucked. But you know, there's quite a few spots where I was able to do things myself and save money versus buying it. Mainly what I'm talking about is the mounts. But I guess what I'm saying is, all in all, if you don't have the know-how and or the tools to be able to do this, it's probably not in your best interest, especially with the windows. If you don't know how to mount the windows in, and in my situation, I would have had to either cut the holes in the windows and then send them off to have them tempered, or do what I did and fabricate those things. I've become pretty good at stuff like that. I realize not everyone can do that kind of stuff. So, like I said, for me, it was fantastic. I learned a lot. I enjoyed it, and I have a pretty awesome shell, or canopy, whatever you want to call it, for my truck that I'm pretty excited about now. I am a bit OCD, so there's a lot of things that kind of bug me. It not being perfect, which is not, you know, is a good reason to buy if you can afford it. If you're like me and you like things being beautiful and perfect, then spend the money and buy one if you have the money. If you have the use for one and you want one and you have the time and you enjoy doing a project, then take it on. So bottom line is, the way I look at it is, even if I decided, you know what, this is driving me nuts, or stupid little things, bottom line, it looks good. There's nothing wrong with it. It looks great. The paint came out fantastic. Everything's awesome. So I'm happy with that. I'm not getting rid of it. But if it bothered me so bad, I could sell this thing for $600 tomorrow. I'm confident of that. So I guarantee I get my money back out of it. And like I said, so there was no regrets for me. But you might really think long and hard if when it comes to windows. So now, if you have a camper shell that you find that is rough on the paint, peeling or scratch or something like that, and it looks like crap, but it's got all the windows intact, and you don't mind doing some of that, you want to learn how to do the paint or even fiberglass work. Now that, okay, no problem. I would take a canopy that was really thrashed but had all good windows, and it'd be fine. So all my drama came from the windows. Everything else I loved, I enjoyed. If it was not for the windows, I would have 100% been totally stoked about this buy, and I still am. But if you find one like that just needs paint or some fiberglass work, I would say go for it. Even if you haven't done it, because it's doable, and if you're careful about it and you do your homework, it's really doable, and it's gratifying when you're done. The other thing I wish that I could show you, which is kind of hard, it's really best seen in the sun, but this color match came out so perfectly, it boggles my mind. I'm going to bring up the name of the place again. It's called automotivetouchup.com, and I've used them several times, and every time they've been very close. I think this is the most impressive paint match I've ever seen from them. I mean, I put it on, and in the sun, you cannot decipher the difference, which is another thing that's kind of exciting, because I've been told many times that silver, especially silver with metallic in it, which this has a lot of metallic in it, is the hardest to spray correctly. And if you don't spray it correctly, it does not look right. And there's a couple spots where there were scratches, and in the sun you can see the scratches through that, with because almost like the metallic settles down in the scratches. So I can see what they're saying, but ultimately, as a whole, it came out beautiful, and that match is so impressively close. It looks like they were sprayed the same day. Good job on them. That was pretty awesome. So that's it. This is the conclusion of this build. Thanks for all those that watched. I hope that people got some out of it. If not just entertainment value, I hope people actually learn some stuff, or I could inspire someone to take on a cool project on their own. So until next time, that's it.